As the tit-for-tat trade tensions between China and the United States wears on, Huawei, the world's biggest maker of telecommunications equipment, is one of the more high-profile firms caught in the crosshairs. The U.S. recently put the firm on a trade blacklist that restricts its access to vital U.S. technology, covering a whole gamut of things, from Google's Android software to microchips. From China, Lynette Lim takes a look at the firm's woes.
Opening the first quarter of the year with a 50% growth in smartphone shipments, Huawei looked like it was on track to surpass Samsung as the world's #1 phone maker by the year-end. But that's unlikely now, with access to Google's Android operating system cut off for Huawei's new smartphones. According to tech consultancy IDC, Chinese brands sell 43% of the world's smartphones, but they don't control the mobile ecosystem. That's a duopoly comprising Apple's iOS and Google's Android. Analysts say the curbs on Huawei could usher in a new third operating system. But the question is, can it be rolled out fast enough? And will there be enough developers writing apps for the Huawei operating system? Huawei has said that it's prepared to gradually roll out its own operating system, one which it has reportedly been developing since 2012. And on its 5G business, Huawei's dominance could be challenged by a lack of key components from the US. This one-two punch to Huawei's consumer and enterprise business has been met with condemnation from the Chinese government as well as CEO Ren Zhengfei. In a recent interview, Mr. Ren said that Huawei's 5G technology will not be affected by the US export ban and that within 2 to 3 years, no company will be able to match its 5G technology. Public support for Huawei in China appears high.
短时间可能我们会不好过一些吧，但是长期我觉得美国失去中国这个市场的话，它未来首先它的那个销量就会下滑，而且第二个就是说它失去中国这么大一个市场，对它的研发就是说它的那个需求多样性也会受到影响。那么长期来看，那美国的它的科技公司可能就会发展上面受挫，被别人取代。
我觉得中国的科技公司肯定是影响比较大，并且不仅仅是在软件方面的问题，而是硬件。因为很多，比如说华为，很多硬件的部位也是从美国进口的，但是都也不算就非常的，就是不能解决的一些问题。经过跟其他的国家的合作或者自己生产，我觉得都是能够解决的。
If the Chinese was to solely rely on its own technology, I think it would be a very long time for the Chinese market to catch up with the US market at this point.
China has vowed to take countermeasures in response to the latest US moves, and analysts say there are various tools at its disposal.
In terms of sort of softer, quieter actions that China can take, it would be very easy for them to start working, for example, with local fire bureaus to make it difficult for American companies to get approval for their stores. That's something that could be done very quietly without any sort of national level directive coming out. If you look at more national level trade issues, China could, for example, ban sale of rare earth metals from China to the U.S. That would be extremely difficult for U.S. companies to overcome because China has so much of the global supply.
All eyes are on the G20 summit in June, when U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping. But given the way things are going, analysts say a protracted trade war looks increasingly likely. And that means uncertainty hangs over Huawei's business dealings with the US. Lynette Lim, CNA, Shanghai.